Hey guys, just for the record, I don't actually script any of these, I just kind of start talking and we see where it goes. Now today's video is going to be about relationships. I've keep getting distracted today, so I'm going to get it done now before it gets too dark and can't see myself, which is not a very bad thing, but alright. Now in relationships, we've all made mistakes. I think we kind of walk into a relationship and we stay in that honeymoon period for a while. Now there's a couple of different types of relationships. There's the relationship where you pick someone up from the bar and you take them home and you sleep with them, which is fine. And there's generally two ways that ends. You get up in the morning and you look at them and you go, oh, that wasn't good. How do I get out of here? Or, you go, oh, that's pretty cool. And you hang out with them. And it either turns into a relationship or it doesn't. And then you stay in that honeymoon period for a while. Maybe having sex all the time, and after a few months that kind of, shifts down to 2 or 3 times a week, and then starts going to maybe once a week, and in my case, when I was married, every 3 months, and I didn't like that, obviously. And the relationship kind of, you're not really sure why the relationship isn't fulfilling for you, or why it's not fulfilling for her, and you start getting annoyed. You start resenting the fact that they're just not interested in things. They don't want to do stuff with you. The resentment turns to hate, obviously after anger, and the relationship ends. It either implodes, or in some cases, you stay with them for a long time, and it's not fulfilling for you, and you just don't have fun. Now, I did a parenting and a fathering course. Sorry, I'll get this wrong. I did a parenting and a husband course not long ago. That was a church-based course, so part of it was obviously religious-based. I skipped out on the last piece, to be honest with you, because it had nothing to do with what we were doing. And they covered quite a few interesting areas. And it's things that I believe that you will actually benefit from, hence the reason I'm having this video with you. So I'm going to read them, and I'm going to get you to, I'd like you to pay attention if you wouldn't mind. Now, they believe that there were 4 key aspects of having a good relationship. Okay? Security, significance, the conversation, and the affection. Now, a lot of us are good at the affection, but we're not always good at the other ones. Now, I'll go over what they actually mean. Now, the security one, okay? Have you told her lately that you love her? Does she know that you actually care? And I say it as a guy, because guys are basically like, hey, if she's rooting, we're good. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. I was in a relationship where had the relationship, didn't have the sex, wasn't happy. Then a relationship where we only had the sex, didn't have the relationship, and wasn't fulfilled either. So, security. Are you being honest with her? Are you telling her the truth about what you're doing, how you're feeling, all that kind of stuff? Have you told her the truth? If she asks you about something, have you told her what the actual truth is? If she asks you about work, do you tell her what actually happens, or do you just kind of fob it off and go, it's not really anything to do with you, it's just my business? One of the most important things that I found while I was married, are you making her financially secure? And that's actually a really big one. If your partner feels financially secure, they're not concerned whether or not they have to, they have to scrape or go without. They feel much better in a relationship. I mean, simple stuff like, is the food in the cupboard? Is the water paid? Is the power paid? Is the internet paid? Is there petrol in the car? If you had an accident or something happened, do you have any way to back that up? If you're off work for 3 weeks and you couldn't get any money, do you have enough money, or can you survive? These are all things that start picking at the relationship and start causing you problems. Now, significance. Did you offer her any words of praise today? Have you said something, honestly, and not the rubbish ones, not, oh, you look really good in that dress when she looks rubbish, not the rubbish ones. Have you told her something that actually means something to you and means something to her? Have you told her how important she is to you? Yeah, sorry, I'm a bit tired today, so I'll try and get this right. Have you told her how important she is to you? It is important that you and your partner know that you are important to each other. The last thing you want to do is be sitting there thinking, I wonder if they even care. I've made that mistake. My partners have made that mistake. I've seen my friends make those mistakes, and it's just, as I said, it picks at the relationship, and it's like a cancer. Um, have you asked her for her opinion on a purchase decision or a new direction that you're contemplating? But have you involved her? Does she even know that you care? You know, these are things that are going to be in your future, and you need to make sure that both you and your partner are aware of what you are doing and how that is going to affect you both in the future. Um, I've changed. I suddenly went, I don't want to work in call centers anymore. I changed my job, and I suddenly found I was getting drama because how are we going to afford stuff? How are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? And it really will rip your relationship to pieces. This is the third one. Conversation. Did you ask her what she's thinking and feeling today? Did you even listen when she told you? People like to know, and people like to understand that you do care what they have to say. I'm someone who's happy to talk, even if you're not here. I'll do that. But your partner needs to know that you want to speak to them. Relationships can be based on sex. They can be based on just talking. Old people, for example, probably never have sex, and let's not really imagine it, but their relationship has shifts from being a normal relationship to just being friends and being partners and talking and doing that stuff. And that can be very, very important. You need to make sure that that's something you don't forget about in a relationship. Have you had a date lately, alone, just to talk about things and unwind together? Now, a lot of us choose to go for dinner, go to the movies, all that sort of stuff. And it sounds fantastic, and it's a great thing to do, but you're creating situations where you're really not talking. You're not actually doing stuff. I've always been big on movies, big on doing stuff like that. But you find that you're just not having that conversation. You're not getting the intellectual stimulation. You're not feeling like you want to keep doing it. I remember having conversations with people who've been standing in the kitchen and at 2 o'clock in the morning and discussing whether or not God was religion, mythology, all that kind of stuff, all that stuff. That's just what I'm interested in. It doesn't mean what anyone else is interested in. Just things that stimulate you. Things like, what? I can't believe I'm having this conversation. This is awesome. And when is your next out of town getaway? To plan, problem solve. Basically, just get out of where you are. Sometimes you get stuck in your own situation. You get stuck in your own head. I'm a prime example, and you can't get out of what you're doing. And sometimes you need to just go to the beach. Legitimately, go away for a holiday. Leave your phone, leave your iPad, leave everything at home. Just bugger off to the beach or go visiting. I wouldn't suggest going to see your family. Personally, that's not what I would suggest. I found that's also a cancer for you. But just get away and spend some time together. Some people find that it is when they start spending time together, they find they're not really keen anymore. Too much time can be a bad thing for them, but that's because their relationship is different. But that can be very important. So you need to make sure that you've planned to get away. You don't want to stay at home for the rest of your life. You need to do extra stuff. Now the fourth one, the affection. Have you hugged or kissed her today? Seems like a stupid question, but when was the last time you walked up to your partner while they were doing something and just gave them a hug and said, you know what? Or when you walked in from work, you walked up and gave them a hug and said, I missed you today. Do you have any idea how important and how great that makes you feel when someone says that to you? When they walk in, the first thing they do, walk up to you and give you a hug and say, I missed you today. How are you? Gold, absolute gold. How about a call out of the blue to say, I'm thinking about you? A lot in our age today, we've got the iPads, we've got Facebook, we've got Tinder, we've got all that sort of crap. So we have the ability to contact people all day, and we text them all the time. I've had relationships and friends of mine who will constantly text you all day. I've had, last girlfriend I was with, she would disappear, wouldn't hear from me for days. Still loved me apparently, but wouldn't hear from me for days. And I used to go, well, if you cared, you would contact me. So what about that out of the blue? Hey, I'm thinking about you. How are you doing? Hope your day's going well. Just those small kind of things, just to make sure that they know that you are thinking about them and that they are important. See, tripping over my own tongue today. How about surprising her with flowers? I've been given flowers. I'm a guy. I've been given flowers once or twice. Not the same effect, But that's fine. Not a woman like flowers. Some women like jewelry. Some women like chocolate. Some women don't like presents at all. I guess it depends on what their love language is, and that's something you need to find out too. Some women like gifts. Some women like words of affirmation. I'm a guy, but my love language is touch. I need and crave the touch from my partner. And some of them legitimately need to be given stuff all the time. And you need to find out what makes them happy. How about a big surprise to honour her this year? A big gift. Have you done that? Have you planned something? Like, have you, you see that their favourite concert or their favourite concert or show or something like that's coming up. Big Boys Toys, for example, for the girls. Have you planned something for them? What about buying the tickets and then just surprising them before it happens? Those kind of things are awesome. Now, as I said, there were four things in this one: security, significance, affection, and conversation. I don't believe that there are four. I think there's a fifth one. Okay, and the fifth one is expectation. Okay, the expectation of what the relationship's going to be like, what she's going to be like, or he, what they're going to do for you, and basically how it's going to work. I had a relationship where, as I was saying, my ex and I didn't have sex for 3 months at a time. To the day we had 3 months, and it just drove me nuts. And I asked her one day about it, and she said to me that the expectation of sex was so much that she was so overpowering for her that she didn't feel the desire. And at the time, I didn't quite understand how that worked. I didn't understand how to get around that. And the reality was, I wasn't giving her any reason to care. I wasn't doing anything else that made her interested. And we do that. We always do that. We have that expectation of how the relationship should be. And as guys, we compare. We're always going, my girlfriend's better than your girlfriend, or my wife does this and your wife doesn't do this, and I'm better than you. And we have this expectation when we get home that, while you're in a relationship, that, hey, suddenly I've got someone who's going to be with me. They're going to have sex and we're going to be doing this. And it doesn't necessarily work that way. You start finding reasons not to be involved, not to be there. You start distancing yourself. And you suddenly think, maybe the relationship is not how I expected, and I want it to be this way. And it should be that way because that's what I've seen. That's what I saw on TV. That's what I've seen in a movie. That's what I've seen on a video. That's what somebody else has told me it should be like. Who says it is? The reality is that's rubbish. Your relationship is whatever you want it to be, and it is. You have to put the work in to get something back. One of the things I will suggest is that when you're arguing, be very careful about some of the things that you say. I've been reminded over the last couple of days that while you are arguing, there are things that you will say that people will remember. And you need to be very careful that when you're arguing, you are not necessarily trying to win. It is a battle while you're fighting, because that's what we always do. We fight. We want to be win. We want to dominate. You want to make sure that at the end of that fight, your partner knows that you were right. Sometimes it's better not to. Sometimes it's better not to win. Sometimes you need to concede that, hey, I'm sorry, I understand that you feel that way. How can we find some way that this will work? We're not always correct. Our expectations of what our partner wants, what we want, they may very well change. You may start the relationship saying, I want sex all the time, I want to have this many kids, I want to be living here, I want to have this house. And that may be your actual goal. Your partner may not. They may start that way. But as things go on, things change. And you suddenly have this expectation that relationship is going to be the way that I pictured. And when it doesn't start going that way, you start imploding, and you're not really sure what to do. So I would suggest that you remember why you're with them. You look at your partner and say, you know what, I care about you, you're important, and you need to know that I love you, and that you are all I need. Don't forget that. If you like my videos, just push like. Otherwise, enjoy your afternoon. I'll catch you up later. Thank you.